Hi everyone, today I'm going to tell you how to survive the heat in your garage or shop. Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe and notification buttons below. So as you all first saw when I first got the car, it was averaging around 105 degrees in the garage. Now, that's not the outside temperature, that's actually in my garage temperature. And so, as excited as I was to work on the car, I was actually like putting in the hours in that heat. And, you know, I have a 3-car garage, but it's full. And so, I really didn't want to buy something and install an air conditioner and, you know, take up more floor space in my garage. But the reality is this type of heat, you just can't survive, and especially at my age, I just can't survive in it. So I'd have like a Saturday and Sunday where I'm working on the car, and I'd sit in that heat for about 8 hours on Saturday, and then I'd go Sunday to go, you know, let's go kick ass, and I didn't even want to be in there. Like, I just couldn't move, I didn't feel well, like, it just took the wind out of me, basically. So one of my friends works at a hardware store, and he was like, man, you should come check out these portable, you know, swamp coolers. And I'm like, swamp coolers, you know. But it ended up being the right thing to do. I would go down to get some parts, and, you know, I'd sit in front of it for a while, and I'm like, man, this thing is working great. This is awesome, you know. And then, you know, come back a day later to pick up another part, you know, or tool or, you know, paint or something like that, and I'd be like, man, this thing's freaking awesome. And so I started sizing up my garage. Now with swamp coolers, it's all about getting the right size for the square footage you have, and it's all about having the right pressure in the room. You have to pull air from the outside, and you have to push it back to the outside. And, you know, what they usually say is you want to take, like, let's say a Kleenex or facial tissue. And if you put it next to the window that's open or the garage door that's barely cracked, and you let that go, does it lightly move towards the door? That's the proper air pressure. So even though this doesn't have any air ducts, or, you know, you're not sealing it against the wall in a sense, you want to place this thing in front of an air source and then have something else cracked where the air could go out the other side. And that's going to be the best way. But even if that's not the case, having this thing just blowing air on you that has water hitting it, so it's, you know, 5-6 degrees less, makes a huge difference in the performance of what you're doing. And it actually works out, you know, like if you're sanding and different things like that, that dust is blowing right by you. So that's kind of cool. If you want to do that, you know, if you don't want to do that, then you want to have it on the other side of the garage and be sanding or whatever. And so it's, you know, moving some air over there, but not necessarily where you're at. So let me show you some of the things that I'm talking about. Now, Hess Air is the company that I bought, and this stuff is great. They make all sorts of different models, big, small. They even have, you know, one that you could build in a split system. But swamp cooler wise, they have, you know, all these amazing systems. And there was a few main ones that I saw. I saw this small one. I saw this tall one here, this one here, and then I think it was this big one here. Fortunately, the picture disappears when I go over it. But anyways, you know, I didn't want to overpower my garage because I knew I needed to have the right one for the right application. And I remember seeing a video from another YouTuber, and he bought this for his like 2 or 3 car garage. And this is for 250 square feet, man. That ain't going to do nothing. The other thing is like in Arizona, it's so hot and dry that you have to fill this small thing up by hand. There's no hose that you can connect to it to fill it up. So you're pumping through like a gallon every 20 minutes. So you're going to sit there with a 5-gallon bucket and keep filling this thing up every hour. That's not something that I'm willing to do. I want to focus on my work, not on filling this thing. And that's just way underpowered. Now, if you have a small little room, then that's the appropriate thing. But that wasn't the case in this situation. So then you have the medium one, which is what I actually ended up buying. And then you can see that's 950 square feet, which is about what I have. And then there's this one, which is 1,600 square feet. Now, I could have bought this one too. That would have kind of worked for what I'm doing. But it's just too big. I don't want that something that big in my garage. I barely have enough room to store my engine and all those things that I have going on now. So this one ended up being really nice. I'll give you a little tour of it, and we'll come back. All right, so here we are with the MC37M that I got. This unit's actually really cool. I really love that it has these trays up here. All my special bits that I use, I keep up here. Phones, all sorts of different things like that. Simple controls. This one has pump, swinging if you want the air to go back and forth, which I never use, on and off, and then multiple speeds. They do have models that have like USB chargers and things like that, so that's actually pretty cool. And then you have casters, so this thing will wheels around really easy. Got to keep in mind though that there is water in this unit, so you want to make sure you're not sloshing around too much. And then it has a manual fill area where you could fill with a bucket, and I'll show you how that works. You just pour it right in. Now the one thing is it's just a piece of plastic, so you can't actually rest the bucket onto the thing or else it will snap out. And when you have 5 gallons of water, it's kind of heavy. But what's cool is it has this little meter, and the meter tells you how far you're in. Now this particular model has an actual hose input. As long as you're not putting a lot of pressure in there, so you could either get a pressure reducer, or what I do is I just barely crack the pressure on my hose, and it's been working fine. And when you do that, it usually sits right around here, you know, like I would say a little higher than 3/4, and it just maintains that all day. It's really great. Otherwise, in my case, I've been kind of going through 1 gallon every 20 minutes. And so if you were using this all day in the garage, you would be doing massive buckets back and forth every hour, putting 5 gallons in. So you wouldn't want to be doing that. So let me give you an idea. I'm going to hit the on button, throw the pump on. You can start seeing the water starts flowing, which is really nice. And then pop on low. And, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a fan, it's noisy, but this unit's actually not too noisy. And so to give you an idea, I mean, that's pretty happening. Even at low, it's actually moving a lot of volume of air. So what I've been using it for is not only to keep the whole place cold, but if I'm standing at this table, or I don't want to get stuff blown around, or if I'm painting something and I don't want to come back, it's also blowing stuff out. So it's actually been kind of great all around for multiple purposes. But like I said, it's on wheels. I can move it around. You know, it's just really nice. What I do is I just leave the garage cracked in both doors, so there's some kind of circulation going through. And in the future, if you could see over here, what I'm going to do is there's some air vents right by the wall, and I'm going to set this up right there to suck that air from the outside and blow it out to the other side of the garage. So that would be the most efficient way to do this. But obviously I have tons of stuff there, so it's not there yet. Plus I'm enjoying the actual breeze on me. Well, that's it for today. If you're interested in more information or pricing on these units, I put a link in the description below that you can click on, and it will take you right to it. Have a great day.